Join Kids Hat family.
The boys in my class are very mean to me. They are so tall and big that I always have to listen to whatever they say. I am afraid to disagree with them.
Size has nothing to do with courage, Tofu. You don't have to be afraid just because you are short. Have you heard the story of Peter Pan? Peter Pan. Once upon a time, in London, the Darlings went out to a dinner party, leaving their 3 children, Wendy, John, and Michael at home. After Wendy had tucked her younger brothers John and Michael to bed, she went to read a book. She heard a boy sobbing outside her window. He was flying. There was a little fairy fluttering around him. Wendy opened the window to talk to him.
Hello, who are you? Why are you crying?
My name is Peter Pan. My shadow wouldn't stick to me.
Don't worry. Come inside.
Peter agreed. Wendy took his shadow and sewed it to his shoe tips. Now his shadow followed him wherever Peter Pan went. He was delighted. Thank you so much. Why don't you come with me to my home? The Neverland. I live there with my fairy Tinkerbell.
Oh, what a wonderful idea! Let me wake up John and Michael too. Could you teach us how to fly?
Yes, of course. Get them. We will all fly together. And so it was. 5 little figures flew out of the window of the Darlings and headed towards Neverland. As they flew over the island, Peter Pan told the children more about his homeland. That island is Neverland. All the children who get lost come and stay with Tinkerbell and me. The Indians also live in Neverland. The mermaids live in the lagoon around the island. And a very mean pirate called Captain Hook keeps troubling everyone.
Captain Hook?
Yes, a crocodile bit off his one arm. So the captain had to put a hook in its place. Since then, he's afraid of crocodiles. And rightly so. If the crocodile ever found Captain Hook, it will eat up the rest of what it couldn't eat the last time. Soon they landed on the island. And to the surprise of Wendy, John, and Michael, Peter Pan led them in through a small opening in a tree. Inside the tree was a large room with children inside it.
Some were huddled by the fire in a corner, and some were playing amongst themselves. Their faces lit up when they saw Peter Pan, Tinker Bell, and their guests.
Hello, everyone. This is Wendy, John, and Michael. They will be staying with us from now on.
Hello, Wendy, John, and Michael. A few days passed, and they settled into a routine. Wendy would take care of all the children in the day and would go out with Peter Pan and her brothers in the evening to learn more about the island. She would cook for them and stitch new clothes for them. She even made a lovely new dress for Tinker Bell. One evening, as they were out exploring the island, Peter Pan warned everyone and said,
Hide! Hide! Pirates! And they've kidnapped the Indian princess, Tiger Lily. They've kept her there, tied up by the rocks near the water.
Peter was afraid, and the princess would drown if she fell into the water. So, in a voice that sounded like Captain Hook, he shouted instructions to the pirates who guarded her.
You fools! Let her go at once! Do it before I come there, or else I will throw each one of you into the water.
The pirates got scared and immediately released the princess. She quickly dived into the water and swam to safety of her home. Soon everyone found out how Peter Pan had rescued the princess. When Captain Hook found out how Peter Pan had tricked his men, he was furious and swore to have his revenge. That night, Wendy told Peter Pan that she and her brothers wanted to go back home since they missed their parents. She said if the lost children could also return to her world, they could find nice homes for them. Peter Pan didn't want to leave Neverland. But for the sake of the lost children, he agreed, although a bit sadly. He would miss his friends dearly. The next morning, all the lost children left with Wendy, John, and Michael. But on the way, Captain Hook and his men kidnapped all of them. He tied them and kept them on one of his ships. As soon as Peter found out about it, he rushed to the ship. He swung himself from a tree's branch and onto the deck of the ship, where all the children were tied up. He swung his sword bravely and threw over the pirates who tried to stop him. Quickly, he released everyone from the captor's ties. Wendy, John, Michael, and Tinkerbell helped all the children into the water, where their friends from the Indian camp were ready with smaller boats to take them to safety. Peter Pan now went looking for Captain Hook.
Let us finish this forever, Hook. Yes, Peter Pan, you have caused me enough trouble. It is time that we finish this.
With his sword drawn, he raced towards Peter Pan. Quick on his feet, Peter Pan stepped aside and pushed Hook into the sea, where the crocodile was waiting to eat the rest of Hook. Everyone rejoiced as Captain Hook was out of their lives forever. Everybody headed back to London. Mr. and Mrs. Darling were so happy to see their children, and they agreed to adopt the lost children. They even asked Peter Pan to come and live with them. But Peter Pan said he never wanted to grow up, so he and Tinkerbell will go back to Neverland. Do visit us sometime, Peter Pan.
I will, Wendy. Promise.
And he flew out of the window with Tinkerbell by his side.
Thank you, dear. I feel much better. The next time the boys are mean to me, I will find a nice way out.
Very good, Tofu. Now come, I can see Mom's car right there. Hey, Tofu. Do you want to come with me? I just saw my piggy bank has enough money to buy new books and toys for the children at the orphanage. You can help me buy and distribute the goodies.
You are going to give away all your savings to other children? How can you do that? Don't you want to buy something for yourself?
Tofu, we can't always think of ourselves. Sometimes we have to help those who do not have the same means as us. Let me tell you a story of kindness. This is a story from a long, long time ago in Nottingham, England, when Prince Richard ruled the country. His younger brother, Prince John, was a wicked prince who took care of the state while the king was away for wars. Prince John was unkind to common people of Nottingham and had no consideration for the poor. Under his charge, the rich became richer while the poor became poorer. The poor had no savior to save them other than Robin Hood, or the Hooded Thief as he was popularly known. Robin Hood had a trusted companion called Little John. Robin Hood would rob the rich merchants and the princess caravans that carried the huge taxes collected from the poor as they crossed the Sherwood forest, which was the home of Robin Hood, on the way to the prince's treasury. And he would distribute the loot amongst the poor. His generosity earned him the name Prince of Thieves amongst the common people, and also many rewards that were announced by the sheriff for his capture. But this did not stop Robin from doing his good deeds. One day, when Robin Hood and his friends had robbed the prince's caravan again, the prince called the sheriff of Nottingham to the palace.
This is the last time Robin Hood has humiliated my men and me, Sheriff. What are your troops doing? Why haven't they caught that thief as yet? We are doing everything, Your Highness. I assure you, we will have him soon. You should, otherwise someone else will be punished.
The sheriff made a new plan with his men. He decided to announce an archery competition to be held in Nottingham, and the winner would be announced as the best archer in Nottingham and also win a kiss from the maiden Marian. One day, Robin Hood's friend Tuck came to visit him.
Have you heard of the archery competition that the sheriff has announced for tomorrow? Yes, we have, Friar. And the men and I think Robin shouldn't go to it. It is a trap laid by the sheriff. All of England knows that Robin Hood is the best archer by far. Robin doesn't need to go and prove anything there.
You worry too much, Little John. Lighten up. We will go and have some fun tomorrow. And to ensure that no one recognizes us, we'll wear disguises.
And so the next day, Robin Hood and his friends wore disguises and went to the competition. Just as Robin Hood had predicted, no one was able to recognize him. Soon it was Robin Hood's turn to shoot the arrows. He took the first shot at the bird and hit bullseye. The crowd cheered for this unknown archer. Then he took another arrow and shot it again. This one too hit bullseye. The crowd cheered louder. The cheering caught the sheriff's attention, and he turned to see what the matter was. By now, Robin had drawn his third arrow and took a shot. It too hit the bull's eye. When the fourth arrow also did the same, the sheriff realized something.
That is no stranger. That is Robin Hood. No one can shoot 4 arrows in a row like that. Grab him, men!
The whole crowd broke into a frenzy as the sheriff's men arrested Robin Hood.
Off with his head!
But Little John moved like a lightning flash and grabbed the prince and put a knife to his throat.
Release him immediately.
The sheriff's men had no choice except to let go of Robin Hood. The Prince of Thieves and his friends hollered and made their way out of the archery field, but not before Robin Hood climbed the audience tower and stole a kiss from the maiden Marian. Back at the Sherwood Forest, Robin Hood and his friends got together and celebrated.
You were right, Robin Hood. Today was a lot of fun. The sheriff had this coming. I am sure you surprised Maiden Marian too. Well, not as surprised as the prince is going to be when he finds out that we stole 4 bags of gold from his treasury during the sheriff's archery competition. Everybody laughed heartily.
Wow, Tia, this is such an inspirational story about being selfless and helping the helpless. I am going to change my ways from now onwards. I am so proud of you, Tofu. That is such a great decision. Keep doing good deeds. Tia, today I'm very happy. I met one of my friends who was acting all greedy and selfish in class. So I told him the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and he soon understood the lesson. Really, Tofu? I haven't heard this one. I would love to hear it from you. The Pied Piper of Hamelin. Once upon a time, there was a town named Hamelin. The town was beautiful, bustling with energy and wealth. But no sooner the happiness of the town was ruined by a plague. Plague of rats. There were rats everywhere. So much so that the people of the town didn't even have a place to keep a step without tripping over the rats. There were rats of every size, shape, every age and color. Nothing worked as a remedy. Not even the cats were able to control the plague of rats. Giving up, the authorities decided to announce a reward of 10 bags of gold to anyone who could help to get rid of the rats. One day, a strange-looking man came to the town. He was dressed in their traditional dress, but all red in color. With a long, peculiar nose and big, wide eyes, he adorned his head with a feather in his hat. He went to the authorities and said, I have a solution for your problem. I assure you that not a single rat would live in this beautiful town. But I want
10 gold bags that you have promised as prize." The authorities were not very sure of his commitment, but still allowed him to give it a try as they had no other option. Soon, the strange-looking man took out a Pied Piper from his pocket and started playing a very strange tune. Within no time, all the rats started coming out and following him. From every nook and corner of the town, so many rats came out that the whole street was filled with them. Very strangely, the rats started following the Pied Piper, who was playing the strangest tune ever heard. The Pied Piper took them to the town's river and entered into it. In no time, all the rats, mesmerized by his tune, fell into the river and drowned. There were rejoices in the town, celebrations all over. Soon, the Pied Piper went to the authorities to claim his prize money. But since their work was done and they thought that this plague would never return, they shunned him off and asked him to leave without giving him a single penny. "What selfish people are these? I did them a favor, freed them from such a bad epidemic, and all they could care was to be greedy and ungrateful? Now look how I will teach these selfish people a lesson." The Pied Piper took out his pipe once again and started playing another strange tune. A tune that no one had ever heard before. In no time, all the children of the town, mesmerized by the music, started following the Pied Piper. The children were so lost in his tune that they didn't realize that they have come out to the outskirts of the town. The Pied Piper took them to a cave and let them in. He kept playing the tune till all the children were inside the cave. He then closed the cave with a huge stone. Only 2 kids were left in the entire town. A boy who was hard of hearing and a girl who had hurt her legs so badly that she couldn't keep up the pace with the rest of the kids. These 2 kids went back and told their parents about the Pied Piper and how he lured all the children into the cave. Soon, the authorities went begging to the Pied Piper and requested him to let their children out. This time, they promised to reward him with 20 gold bags. I don't trust you any longer. I want my prize money beforehand.
Soon, he was handed over his prize money. And he left, never to be seen again. The children were freed from the cave, and the parents hugged them and cried. Watching this, the authorities said,
We surely have learned a lesson. This man came out of nowhere and saved us from an epidemic. All that we did in return was to be selfish and ungrateful. He surely taught us a lesson of not to be greedy and selfish.
That night, the town rejoiced and celebrated like a festival. It's still said that in the town of Hamelin, if you ever go and listen carefully, you might hear the beautiful sound of the Pied Piper. Tofu, I'm so proud of you. You must be a little naughty, but you surely are a good boy. Ha 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 ha. What is your project about, Tofu?
We have to raise money for the class show. We have to make and sell something.
So, what have you decided to make?
That's where the trouble is. I can't think of anything. I wish I had some magic and I could just get as much money as I wanted. In fact, I would use the magic to become the richest person on earth and sit back and relax the whole day. I would do nothing else.
Well, Tofu, you do know that there is more in life than only being rich. People like you more when you are honest, hardworking, and humble. That's how Aladdin found his princess and lived a happy life.
Aladdin? Who is that?
I'll tell you. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Aladdin. He lived with his mother and his pet monkey in a poor village of Arabia. The only relative Aladdin and his mother had was a distant uncle who hardly kept in touch with them. One day, when Aladdin and his mother were finishing the daily chores, Aladdin's uncle showed up.
Brother, what a pleasant surprise!
How are you, sister? How is your son?
We are both good, brother. It has been many years since you have visited us. Aladdin, this is your uncle. You saw him once when you were a little baby.
Hello, uncle. Oh, what a young lad he has become. But I'm sorry to see the state of things you have to live in, sister. I have a proposition. Let me take Aladdin with me and I will find him some work. Once he has earned enough, he can come back to you. Till then, keep this piece of gold to make your living.
Oh, brother, that is a wonderful idea. It will do Aladdin good to learn some work with you.
The next morning, Aladdin and his uncle left. They walked through many villages and towns. Till one day, they came to a quiet place outside one of the villages. There were many caves and tunnels there.
What are we doing here, Uncle? I have a job for you here.
Here, Uncle? But there is nothing here except these rocks and caves.
Look there, under the tree.
There is a large stone with a ring on it.
I want you to lift it.
Okay, Uncle, as you say.
Please, help me, Uncle. This rock is very heavy. No, I can't help you. It is your job. You have to do it. It's opening. It's opening, Uncle. I can see a narrow passage and some stairs leading further down. Very good job, my boy. Now I want you to go in there. But before you go, here, wear my ring. This is a magical ring. It will keep you safe. Yes, Uncle.
Aladdin follows his uncle's directions and goes down the stairs. Once at the bottom, he sees that it is a large cave filled with many jewels and gold coins.
Pick up the large gold plates and urns. Fill them up with gold and jewels. Pick up anything else that you think may be worth something.
Aladdin does as his uncle had told him. He stuffed the large urns with many precious items and made his way back towards the staircase. On his way out, he saw a small dusty lamp. Although it didn't look precious, he decided to take it too and tucked it into his shirt. When Aladdin had reached the top of the staircase, he called out to his uncle for help.
Here, Uncle. Please take these urns and then pull me up too. I cannot get out by myself. The opening is too far for me. Yes, yes. Give me the urns. Okay, Uncle. Now pull me out.
Pull you out so that you can go and tell everyone where the treasure is? Never. I brought you along because this is a cursed cave. Only a small boy can go in and out of it. I have what I wanted. I don't have to come back for more for a long time.
Saying so, Aladdin's uncle shut the cave's opening with a large stone that had a ring on it. Leaving Aladdin behind in the cave. Aladdin was shocked, but he stayed patient.
Uncle has betrayed us, but I must find a way out and get back to my house. Dear God, show me a way out of here, please.
Aladdin joined his hands and bowed his head to pray. As he put his hands together, his fingers rubbed over his uncle's magical ring, and a creature came out of it.
Yes, Master. You called me.
Who are you?
I am the slave of this ring and whoever wears it. I must obey any one command of the master of the ring, and then the ring will be destroyed, freeing me. How may I serve you, my master?
Can you please get me out of here and back home to my mother?
Yes, master, right away.
The next moment, Aladdin was home with his mother. His mother was surprised to see him back home so soon and in such an abrupt manner. "My son, you have returned so soon. Where is your uncle? Have you already earned so much money?"
Uncle cheated on us, Mother. I will tell you everything, but first give me something to eat. I haven't eaten anything since yesterday.
Aladdin's mother served him the remainder of food as he told her what had happened and how his uncle had tricked and abandoned him. "I can't believe my own brother would do this to us, son. I am glad you're home safe now. But the gold coin your uncle gave me has run out, and we have nothing to eat now."
Don't worry, Mother. I have this lamp. I will go into the market and sell it tomorrow. Let us sleep for now.
Relieved that they were together, Aladdin and his mother slept peacefully that night. The next morning, Aladdin asked his mother for the lamp.
Mother, I'm very hungry. Give me the lamp. I will go and sell it so we may have some bread.
"Here, son, take the lamp, but clean it nicely and polish it before you go to the market. A shiny lamp will fetch you more money."
Yes, Mother.
As Aladdin started rubbing the lamp clean with his shirt, a magical creature appeared from it.
Yes, master. What is your command for me?
Master? Are you like the creature of the ring?
Yes, master. He is my brother, and I know that he freed you from the caves.
What is going on, Aladdin? Who is this?
Don't worry, Mother. This is a magical creature of the lamp. He will grant us anything we wish for.
Call me Genie, my master.
Very well, Genie. Please get us something to eat. We are very hungry.
As soon as Aladdin had said it, several silver plates appeared with a variety of food in them. The genie went back into the lamp, while Aladdin and his mother had a hearty meal. When it was evening, they were hungry again.
It's time for dinner. What shall we do? Should I call the genie again?
No! Look, he has left us with these silver plates. Go and sell them in the market. We will buy bread after that. Aladdin agreed with his mother and took one of the silver plates to the market. He saw a Turkish trader and decided to strike a deal with him. But Aladdin didn't know the value of his silver tray or how to do business.
How much you want for this tray?
Please give me whatever you think is fit. I trust you.
Okay, take 1 gold coin.
Okay, thank you.
The trader was surprised by Aladdin's innocence and was tempted to tell him that he had made a mistake and that the tray was of even lower value than he had quoted. But instead, he let him go.
Such an innocent boy. He didn't even bother to find out the actual value of the plate. Just trusted me blindly. Perhaps I should have given him the fair value. Haha, anyways.
With the gold coin he had got, Aladdin bought food and other necessary supplies for his home. But within a few days, they ran out of all the supplies. So Aladdin went back to the Turkish trader and sold him another plate. This time, the trader gave him 2 gold coins. Again, Aladdin bought food and supplies for his home. This went on for many days till Aladdin ran out of all the silver plates. Son, there is no food in the house and no plates to sell as well. What shall we do now? I will rub the lamp and call the genie again.
Yes, master. How can I help you today?
There is no food in the house. Can you get us some food?
Yes, of course, master.
Once again, the genie brought them food on many silver plates. Although Aladdin had the magic lamp, they never used it to satisfy any greed. They continued to live frugally, except now his mother started saving a little money from the sale of every silver plate. Like this, in a few years, they had enough money to live a decent life. Aladdin even became a merchant and almost never used the lamp again. One day, he was returning from work. He happened to see the princess as a procession passed from the street.
Mother, I am in love with the princess and I have decided to marry her. I will present her with many jewels and precious things that we have collected over the years.
Aladdin went to the king and asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. The king saw the honesty in Aladdin's nature and agreed. Aladdin married the princess and showered her with all the riches he had. The news of the happy couple spread across the land till it reached his uncle.
So, Aladdin got out and betrayed me, huh? He found a magic lamp and didn't tell me. I shall kill him with my own hands and get the lamp from him.
One day, when Aladdin was away at work, his uncle went to his home and stole the magic lamp. He then ordered the genie to transport the whole house into the middle of the desert where no one could find it.
What have you done? Where is Aladdin?
You will never see him again. Now you are liable to me. You will do as I tell you. Now go and get me some wine and dinner.
The princess did as she was told, but as she did so, she planned her escape too. She mixed some sleeping powder in his wine and gave it to him. As soon as he drank it, he fell into a deep sleep. The princess quickly reached for the lamp and dropped it. The genie appeared.
Yes, mistress. How may I serve you?
Save me, genie. Please find Aladdin and get him here.
Yes, mistress.
The next moment, Aladdin was there. He saw his uncle sleeping and the genie present. He understood what had happened immediately. He waited till his uncle got up. And then he killed him. He then told the genie to take them back home. The genie did as told. And they continued to live their happy life.
So he took the hard way. What a good man Aladdin was.
Yes, he was.
Well, I think I do want to be honest and sincere like him. I am never going to look for shortcuts or be lazy again, Tia. I promise.
Our gardener is so rude. I am never going to talk to him again. Maybe you should try to be nicer to him, Tofu. Perhaps he has no friends and feels lonely.
Yes, he doesn't talk to anyone. Hence, he has no friends. Why would anyone talk to someone who doesn't talk to them?
That's not what Heidi did.
Who is Heidi?
Heidi. There lived a little girl called Heidi. She lived with her aunt in the village. Once it happened that Heidi's aunt had to go to the big city for work. She would be gone for a long time. So she decided to leave Heidi with her grandfather, who lived alone on the mountain. Heidi's grandfather, a carpenter named wasn't a friendly person because of some experience in his past. He didn't like to talk to anyone, and that is why he lived all the way up in the mountains. And now Heidi had to live with him.
Bye-bye, Heidi.
Be a good girl.
Bye, Auntie. Hello. My name is Heidi.
Heidi waited a while, hoping that her grandfather would talk to her. When she realized he wasn't going to, she decided not to disturb him, and instead she went out to see the mountainside. She had never seen such vast lands of green. She fell in love with her new home immediately. She lay down next to a bed of daffodils under the open sky and smiled to herself. That's when she heard the goats with bells around their neck.
Oh, hello. Where did you come from?
I brought them here to feed, like I do every day. Where did you come from?
Hello, my name is Heidi. I have come here to stay with my grandfather.
Hello, Heidi. My name is Peter. Old Grandpa is your grandfather? He often helps us with furniture and maintaining the barn. In turn, my grandmother bakes bread for him.
You live here with your grandma, is it? Can I meet her?
Yes, come with me. And so Heidi went with her new friend to his house to meet his grandmother. Peter's grandmother was very loving, and although she was blind, she loved to talk and cook. She was very happy when Peter told her about Heidi.
Oh, that's wonderful. Come here, dear Heidi, and give me a hug.
Are you hungry?
Well, come, I will make you some special soup.
Heidi spent the rest of the day at Peter's house and learned how to make special soup from his grandmother. Heidi asked her if, like Peter, she too could call her Granny, and she was delighted when she agreed. When it was evening, she said goodbye to them and went back to her grandfather's house. When she reached there, he was still working in his workshop. So Heidi went into the house. Sometime later, Heidi called out to him, "Dinner time, grandfather! Come, let's eat together." Old Arm looked up in surprise. No one had made dinner for him in decades. He closed his workshop for the day, washed up, and went to eat. Heidi had made the lovely soup she had learned from Granny. They ate in silence. And although her grandfather liked the soup very much, he didn't say anything. When dinner was done and the kitchen had been cleaned up, they both went out in the yard and sat under the stars quietly. After some time, Heidi started feeling sleepy, and so she kissed Arm goodnight and went to sleep. Arm had not experienced so much love in many years, and so he sat there with tears in his eyes for a long time. Next morning, by the time Heidi got up, her grandfather was already in his workshop. She decided to go and be with him. "Good morning, grandfather." Heidi knew she wouldn't get an answer, so she decided to make herself busy. She swept the workshop, filled fresh water in Arm's jar, and to surprise kissed him and went out to feed the hen. When it was about afternoon, she served a lunch of mashed potatoes which she had learnt to make from her aunt. Later, she went to Peter's house to spend time with Granny and returned in the evening to serve dinner. This went on for many days. Every morning and night, she would kiss her grandfather on the cheek and wish him. She would clean his workshop and fill fresh water in his jar. All this love and care that Heidi gave him changed Arm's behavior. He loved having Heidi around and enjoyed it very much when Peter and Granny came by to visit her. One day, upon Heidi's insistence, he even took her to the village. They bought a pair of shoes for Heidi. On the way back, they bought candy floss. Throughout the trip, Arm laughed and played with Heidi. All the villagers were surprised to see this change in the old carpenter. 2 years went by, and Heidi and Arm were very happy in each other's company. Till one day, Heidi's aunt returned. She wanted to take Heidi with her to the big city. The man whose office she worked in had a daughter, Clara, who couldn't walk. Clara always needed a wheelchair to go anywhere. Hence, she had no friends. Clara's father wanted Heidi to be Clara's friend. "Grandfather, tell her I do not wish to go. I want to live here with you." But Arm didn't say anything. He knew that Heidi would have a much better life in the big city. And so Heidi left her grandfather, Peter, Granny, and the mountainside to live in the big city. She was straight away taken to the mansion where Clara lived. There she met Clara's father. He was a very kind and loving gentleman who loved Clara very much, but often had to travel a lot for business. During these times, he left Clara in the care of her grandmother and a rather stern housekeeper.
Hello, Heidi. I am Clara's father. I wanted to thank you for coming here. I am sure you will like living here with Clara. If you ever need anything, please let me know. Now come, I will take you to Clara's room.
When they entered Clara's room, Heidi saw a beautiful girl, maybe 2 years elder to Heidi, sitting on a wheelchair. She was very pretty, but she was frail and seemed sad. The housekeeper pushed the wheelchair forward towards Heidi.
Clara, this is Heidi. She will live with us now. I will see you both in the evening now. Bye-bye.
Saying so, he and Heidi's aunt left to attend their business. For a while, Heidi didn't know what to say to Clara.
My friend Peter has many goats. Sometimes I can't make out whether he controls the goats or they control him.
Hearing this, Clara also broke into giggles, and Heidi immediately knew that they were going to be very good friends. She started spending her whole day with Clara. She would tell her many tales of the mountains, while Clara would tell her about the different cities she had stayed in after her mother had passed away. While the housekeeper was very stern and always stopped the girls from enjoying themselves too much, Clara's grandmother was very nice. She even taught Heidi how to read. Everybody who met Clara now noted how happy she looked. One day, the girls went out to the market. As Heidi pushed the wheelchair forward, she saw a vendor selling daffodils. She was immediately reminded of home, her grandfather, Peter, and Granny. When they came back from the market, Clara asked Heidi,
Wasn't today fun, Heidi? What do you think of my new bracelet? Yeah, it's lovely.
And so it went from that day. Heidi didn't want to play or sing with Clara, and she wouldn't read with Clara's grandmother. She wouldn't even eat unless was forced to. She would just keep doing her work quietly. She missed her home terribly, and her heart broke every time she looked out of the window and saw buildings and towers instead of mountains and sky. This went on till one day she felt terribly ill. Clara's father called the doctor right away.
Well, I am afraid she is homesick. She misses home. No medicine or treatment can make her better unless she goes back. I will immediately make arrangements to send her home.
True to his word, Clara's father made sure that Heidi was back in the mountain at her grandfather's house in 2 days. Just the news of going back home had made Heidi feel better. And when she reached her grandfather's home, she ran to him and hugged him. Even Am was very happy to have Heidi back.
I am never going away, Grandfather.
You don't have to.
Grandfather, this is Clara. She is my friend from the city. She has come to stay with us for a few days. And that is Clara's father.
As the two men shook hands, Peter came over. The children were very excited to see each other.
You must be Peter. Heidi has told me all about you. You must take me to your granny.
Yes, yes. Come, I will push your chair.
Granny would love to meet you. After some time, Clara's father said goodbye to everyone. He would come back in few weeks to take Clara back to the city. The children waved him goodbye. In the next few days, the children had a lot of fun. Peter and Heidi would take Clara along with them everywhere. Peter would pluck fresh fruits for them, and they even showed her how to milk a cow. With the good food, air, environment of the mountainside, Clara grew stronger. So much that she even learned to walk by herself. Soon it was time for Clara's father to come and take her away. When he came, she surprised him by walking up to his carriage.
Oh, my darling, I am so happy.
As they left, everybody was happy. There was no sadness in anyone's heart.
Bye-bye. I will visit you soon. I will too. Goodbye. Take care.
So you see, Tofu, when you are kind and loving towards someone, you can change their whole life.
Yes, Tia. Thank you for teaching me this valuable lesson. Perhaps I will take some chocolates for the gardener. Look at that girl, Tia. That boy will beat her up easily. I don't think she should get into a fight with him.
No, Tofu. The boy was wrong to have stolen her bag, and the girl deserves a chance to get it back.
But she's a girl. She can't win against a boy like that. She will get hurt.
Just because she is a girl doesn't mean she has to fear, Tofu. Girls also have a lot of courage and strength.
Do you know of a girl like that?
Yes, I do. Her name is Mulan.
Mulan? Who is she?
Mulan lived in ancient China with her parents. She was their only child. Her only companion was her dog called Little Brother. Mulan's father used to be a great warrior, but he had hurt his leg in a war and couldn't fight anymore. One day, a messenger came from the emperor. The Huns, China's army, had attacked, and at least one man from each army had been ordered to join the emperor's imperial army. This was terrible news for Mulan and her family, as it meant that her father would have to go back to war. That night, when her parents had slept, Mulan had an idea. She took her father's sword and cut her hair off. Then she put on his warrior's uniform, and she looked just like a man. She took Little Brother and made her way to the Imperial Army's campsite. There she met Captain Li Shang.
What is your name?
Ping, sir.
Very well then. Time to begin your training.
Mulan was delighted that everybody had accepted her as a man and started her training. Sadly, she lagged behind all the other warriors.
You are not fit to be in my army. You are slowing everyone down. Go back to your village.
Returning to her village would have brought great shame to her family, so Mulan came up with another plan. She wrote a fake letter to the army saying that the Huns have attacked. Reading the letter, Li Shang ordered his army.
Onward with me. March to the mountains. We shall defeat the Huns forever.
As the army was crossing the pass that led to the mountains, they found themselves surrounded by thousands of Huns.
We've been cheated! The Huns were supposed to be in the mountains.
Soon the entire imperial army was under attack. Mulan had another idea. She took the last cannon and lit it. There was a huge blast which destroyed most of the Huns, but it injured Mulan too. She was rushed to the doctor's tent.
Bring Pink to this bed. I will take care of him.
But there was a surprise waiting for the doctor.
Oh my God! Ping is a woman. Get me Captain Li Shang immediately.
The doctor told the captain what she'd found. Few days later, when the army started moving, Shang spoke to Mulan.
You have cheated me. But you also saved the army in the passes. Hence your punishment is that you can no longer be a part of the army. You will not come with us.
Mulan was very upset and heartbroken. She needed to do something to save her family's honor. That's when she heard the Huns' voices.
Oh no! The Huns are still alive! I must warn the captain.
And so Mulan raced to Imperial City to warn Shang.
They are alive! We must prepare for another attack from the Huns.
I cannot trust you anymore. You have cheated me before. You are not welcome here. Leave.
Mulan tried to inform the other leaders, but no one would listen to her. Meanwhile, the Hun leader, Shan Yu, attacked the city. And kidnapped the emperor. Li Shang and Mulan freed the emperor. Mulan then enticed Shan Yu to follow her to the rooftop. There she tricked him and grabbed his sword and pinned his coat to the roof. As the two armies collided, there was a huge explosion and the roof was destroyed, taking with it Shan Yu. Mulan fell to the ground. When she sat up, she saw that the Imperial army had won, and the Huns had been banished from the city forever. The Emperor was very happy with Mulan's bravery and gifted her a sword as a token of appreciation. Mulan went home and presented the sword to her father, who was very happy with the honor that his daughter had brought to the family. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It was Captain Li Shang. He'd come to return Mulan her helmet that she had forgotten. Mulan invited him to stay for dinner, and he graciously accepted. So you see, Tofu, girls can do anything they put their heart to. Tofu? Tofu, are you listening to me?
Yes, Tia, I am. I am just thinking how wrong I was to think that girls can't fight.
Well, now you know. So better be careful before you pick a fight with a girl next time. For your favorite rhymes, stories and more, join Kids Hat family. Subscribe here.